Hey everybody, it's been a little while, so that'd be a good time to take a look at some metal zines, metal books, and a couple other things. But before we get to the metal, lately I've been having trouble focusing on reading books, and I think a big part of that is that we're in the winter months right now, and I much prefer reading outside when the sun's out. But I'm sure I'll be back in the lawn chair in no time. But for now, it's taken me forever to finish this. Bret Easton Ellis, The Shards. Bret Easton Ellis is probably my favorite fiction author, and if you didn't know, he is probably most famous for writing American Psycho and Less Than Zero. And despite being, maybe my favorite author, and I don't know how long it's been, but it was many years since his last novel. It's taken me a while, but I really like it, and it's very similar to all of Bret Easton Ellis' books. And when I say that, they all have a base theme of people, mostly young people, and not all, but usually in the Los Angeles area, people with money, whether it's the business world or modeling or taking place in a very expensive private school, and just dark scenarios that can come out of it. Because I believe that was his upbringing as a rich kid in Beverly Hills or something back in the day. But I think this is another awesome book. I don't think he's wrote a bad one yet, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this ends. So on to the metal. We're going to start off with Noxious Ruin Magazine, Volume 7. I'm actually in the middle of this one right now. So Noxious Ruin is a metal zine with a heavy emphasis on artwork. Got all the artists involved credited at the front. And I'll show you just several pages. Again, these are all original artworks by artists who do metal covers, or at least that kind of style of artwork. Very thick, high quality paper. I saw a bit of horror movie talk in here. I saw interviews, Sequestrum, Machitazo, an article on that Japanese punk band Gauze, and a very long interview with Sadistic Execution. Now, this is a little bit of a pricey zine, but for good reason. Again, not only is it thick with many things that you could put on the wall, but it came with a 7-inch, a cassette, which seems to be a compilation of underground death metal. The name that sticks out to me here is Caustic Phlegm. I'm pretty familiar with them, and they're a pretty cool band. A poster of more artwork. A Nunslaughter poster. And who is this? Cryptic Brood and Night Hag. Saw a couple other cool things in here too. I enjoyed this article here. Canadian death metal. And it just occurred to me that that's written by Ken from Ken's Death Metal Crypt YouTube channel that I'm sure the vast majority of you are very familiar with. You check it out if you haven't. Next up, Arcane Archivist, Volume 5. This is another zine put out on Cult Never Dies. You can get a lot of cool stuff through them. 500 copies. What's this? $4.30. Featuring interviews with Watain, 1349, Horna, Macabre Omen, Funeral, Treldom. All kinds of reviews. Another high quality zine for sure. And speaking of contributions from Metal YouTube, you got contributions from Brain Smasher. Next up, my favorite zine going right now, Bardo Methodology. Which one is this? This is number 8. So I have them all, as well as I think there's 2 or 3 compilations of online material that have been compiled, and I have those too. Is Bardo Methodology really a zine? I guess not. There's no ads, no reviews. These are all lengthy interviews. Interesting questions, original questions. Don't shy away from controversy. Who's in this one? Destroyer 666, Ecclese, Leviathan, Black Witchery, Cult de Ghouls, Offermod, can go on and on. So if you don't think you're gonna buy Bardo Methodology, which I suggest you do, but if you check out the website, they have lots of cool stuff on there, and I think quite a few exclusive interviews to the website. This is a new one out there. Metal Execution, Issue 1. I'm pretty sure this is based out of the US, off of my recollection. Who do we have here? You got Perdition Temple, Imprecation, Cadaveric Incubator, At War. I recall definitely a bit of a sense of humor in here. Definitely got the metal spirit through and through. Show reviews. There's a Hell Witch interview here. And this also came with a poster. Bombarder, I think they're a French thrash band. And Uranomos. I've never listened to this band before, but I keep seeing them popping up in zines. I believe they're a German black metal band, or maybe a black thrash band perhaps, but their music doesn't appear to be screaming to my eyes, and I keep hearing a lot of good things, so I think I check them out. Next up, Serograph, number 3. Don't think I have all 3, but I think I have issue number 1 somewhere. This is a zine out of Poland, old school style. You got the stapled at the side, cut and paste style. And I've always enjoyed this one. Definitely pretty obscure bands, but entertaining interviews. Who do we got here? You know what? The biggest name on here is probably Cyanide. Who else do we got here? Hell Avenger, Hades Archer, Cadaveric Possession, Putrid. Kind of a bigger magazine here. This is Zero Tolerance, an issue I haven't looked at before. This was kind of a surprise to me. I got rid of an old car a couple months ago, and as I was cleaning it out, this was in the glove compartment. I barely even started to read it, so that was kind of cool. What do we got in here? What's the album of the month? Wardruna. Never really listened to them, to be honest with you. My favorite parts are always the death metal and black metal columns in here. There's usually a black metal scene report. In this issue, it's on Spain. This is the most recent Zero Tolerance, issue 109, obituary on the cover. I love Zero Tolerance magazine, but the production's really slowing down. I hope they're doing okay. It went from bi-monthly to quarterly, and I think it's every 6 months at this point. And they've had 3 issues in the last 2 years. They have never changed their style. It's always been the exact same format, exact same style. But I do have to admit that it's not as good as it used to be. I just find the interviews, like the bigger bands interviewed within are not really what I'm looking for anymore. But if I will always support this magazine. If I see this on a newsstand, I'm going to pick it up every time. And, you know, you can get it at bookstores, but it's kind of hard to find. I'm lucky enough that the mall by me does carry it. But again, less and less every year. This one has a cool underground report on the Bosnian black metal scene. And what is the album of the month here? Obituary, Dying of Everything. I looked at this in a different video, but it was a video I redid, and therefore I want to look at this again. Death Vomit. This is a death metal fanzine collection from 1988 to 1991. A lot of cool stuff in here. I remember I was seeing old interviews with Rotting Christ, Altar, Impale Nazarene, Dissection, Beherit, and a million names I've never even heard of. Maybe bands that just put out a demo back in the late 80s, early 90s, and were never heard from again. So definitely a step in the past. I believe this zine was based out of Virginia, and for that reason I see a lot of deceased in here, which is good news for me. And I remember I just got this off of Amazon. It seems to be one of those, when you order it, they just print it off for you and send it off. So not too hard to find, and I recommend you check it out. And look at that, just a random page. Got Mortician and Tiamat. Awesome. Couple more zines here. I took a chance on these. This is Death in the Sun issue 1 and issue 3. I believe it is affiliated with Northern Heritage, the label owned by the guy from Clandestine Blaze. And that is definitely a controversial record label. And I'm not going to lie, definitely some sketchy stuff in here, politically. But most of it is just based on underground black metal and some interesting stuff in there. Last 3 orders I put in with Hell's Headbangers, they've been throwing these, and I thought I'd take a look at them. I don't know if this is like an ad for Reek of Death Records or just being used as a flat surface for packaging purposes. I don't know, but I think they're really cool. These seem to be bootleg live vinyls and just the sleeve thrown in. This is Celtic Frost, World War III. Look at that artwork there. November 30th, 1985 at World War III Fest in Montreal, Canada. These are pretty cool. I can stick it on the wall. Probably will. It's also this one here. With Rotting Ways Comes Destiny. Obituary. It's the guys on stage of Skeletons rocking out. Live in Holland, May 1992. And finally, Deicide. That's live November 28th, 1998 in San Francisco. And yeah, 1998, that must have been 1998, 1999. That's when Serpents of a Light came out, and a play on Serpents of a Light cover there. There we go. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching.